Welcome to another episode of Blended Views Unfiltered, where we talk life, love, and business. DeAndre.
This is Nick.
Hey, we got a guest on the show today, my man Chris Gunther, who has been on here several times. Niggas say a distant cousin.
Yeah, distant relative.
Man, I appreciate y'all for having me, man. What's going on, brother? Show me some love. Show me some love.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
We say you've been here before, you know what I'm saying? Go and get your own plate and your own dishes.
You ain't got to tell me twice.
Go ahead in the fridge.
Yeah.
Like, don't touch my milk.
I'm just grateful. Okay. I'm just grateful to be on, man, with some amazing brothers, amazing platform that you guys have, man. You know, y'all have had some amazing guests. I'm just honored that y'all took the time out to invite a guy, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Hey, this
coming.
ain't gonna be a normal show now. You know, this is gonna be.
I've been around y'all a few times.
A little bit.
We're gonna get into the nitty gritty. We're gonna get into the gristle.
So Nick gonna be a little edgy. I'm a fan. Go ahead, bro.
Maybe
Go
a little
ahead.
edgy. First question I'm gonna ask y'all, jokers.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we ain't got no women here today. No female species.
Which-
the man, this the man,
Pause.
man cave
I'm a-
edition.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to give a shout out to Sio. I'm a huge fan of.
Don't shout her out.
I'm a fan,
She
man.
getting that wig split.
Yeah,
I'm a
don't-
fan.
don't shout
I'm a
her
fan of Sio. My sister Kanisha. I love y'all so much. I just want to show y'all some love, man.
alright.
I can't take y'all place as they hate on me. I can't take y'all place. I just want to show y'all some love. That's all.
They all right.
And shout out to my best friend Shamara Rios. I know you watching this. Love you, special.
Yeah.
Quick question, y'all. Guy's perspective, obviously.
Yeah, it's the man cave edition.
Gotcha.
What are some ways, man? This is gonna be. This may be only because
It's men.
no, y'all married. So
Hey Chanel.
for the wives that are watching this, just these are all hypotheticals or based on past experiences. Whatever.
Hypothetical
So
situations. Yeah.
They don't, no offense. But what are some ways that you rekindle a relationship or an old flame, right? That you got to say, let's say you was in a relationship and you got out of a relationship, you threw away that black book, okay?
Whoo.
That GTD book, you threw it away. GTD.
Yes, sir. Yes,
No,
sir.
I don't, actually.
What? You don't?
GTD.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait,
Oh, what?
are you a fan of Martin?
Are you joking or are you dead serious?
Man.
Tommy was up on, he had him on trial. He said,
I know what you.
What does he?
Oh,
got
yeah,
the
yeah,
draws.
yeah.
Got the draws. Got the draws. Got the
forget that episode.
draws.
You threw away the GTD book. You know what I'm saying? My man Deuce got a new song called GTD. Anyway, you threw the book away. So now you starting off, from scratch.
Fresh.
So what's a way that you end up, whether it's social media or you running, what's a way you rekindle one of them old flames?
Man, when I was out there in the game, I was a firm believer of never burning a relationship. So I would never, even if, unless we fell off on some like terrible stuff, that's one thing. But I never believed in dogging somebody out on your way out. Because you never know if you had to run that back. So, no, I'm be honest with you. Now, I
understand.
I'm a firm,
really
I
do.
told you before that I'm a firm believer of, unless it had to go there, if y'all just like, I ain't just feeling her no more, respectively leave. So if you had to run that back, you ain't no, butthole to her. So, I mean, I always kept the door open until I got married where I had to close all them doors. But when I was out in the game, every door was always cracked in case I had to walk back through there. I didn't want to feel like no idiot, like, oh, you just cussed me out. No, I can always enter back pretty smoothly. That was just my belief. That was me.
My belief on how to rekindle something, and I know it's gonna come as a shock to a lot of people, is you got to show effort. Got to show effort in trying to rekindle something. Well, say if you ended up, you and this young lady, y'all had like a little bit of a past and, whatnot, and maybe it didn't work out at that time and you try to get at her again, make the effort to try to, see maybe things have changed. And women love a brother that's trying, especially if you actually are trying to pursue them, just them. I would say make sure that the effort is there. And then once the effort is there, you'll kind of start to come up with things to keep that interest and to keep that spark going. So by that time, if y'all trying to rekindle whatever the case is, then y'all could just go from there.
Yeah.
Because women love that stuff. Like, women love a man that tries. Even if you ain't got much, if you trying 9 out of 10 times, they gonna rock with you.
Yeah.
But that one that don't, I mean, maybe there's a reason why she's single.
Man, I believe the way you rekindle it is, just never shut that door.
Man, thank you. That's what I mean.
see no lies.
If you want to listen,
It's the manner in which you do it.
you got to keep that. You have to keep that fire hot just in case you just want to spark something back up.
I see no lies, yo.
You know, and sometimes depending on, all right, because sometimes, let's face it, sometimes you got to be a little bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
Happens.
You could be an ignorant one. You could be
Well,
A firm one.
a gentleman's ass.
Yeah.
or you could just be one and call it a day. I mean,
Meaning, like, I'm not being an extreme dickhead. Like, it's one of those, what do the women say? I said what I said. Just like,
Yeah.
me, I'm standing on my stand.
Uh-huh.
Standing on who I am, on what. So it just ended a certain kind of way, right?
Yeah.
Once their emotions calm down, they typically get a little bit more logical and they realize, yeah, it wasn't all that bad. And I understand where the joke was coming from. But don't burn the bridge.
Yeah, man.
Right? And then maybe if you were not a certain kind of caliber, just show them who you are now.
some of the bridges, I'll be honest, man, deserve to be burned. Some of them deserve to be burned.
I agree.
Some of them deserve to be burned straight to hell.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
If you got that one where it's like it wasn't that bad, it's just like, hey, we just stagnant here. And it's like, you know what, this ain't working. Nothing against you, just ain't working. You know, be cool about it. I mean, but so if you run into it, it ain't the most awkward thing in the world. Like, hey, you know, she did have good conversation. Maybe
I
you know,
agree. I 100%.
Like, yeah, I'm not talking about the crazy woman. Like, no, you got to leave her and run. I'm talking about like you had them relations where it's like, you know, she was cool, he was cool, not he, but she was cool.
Right.
It just wasn't going nowhere. You know, we just had to, you know, separate. We still cool and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm married now, but I could probably walk into all my ex's doors.
The biggest
if I wanted to.
Women are like afraid of that. Depending on
Oh
what
yeah,
kind of
definitely.
man you are, it's like it's an immediate for them. It's the access, or they think that it's access. For me, I got kids, right? And obviously, I got kids with multiple women, so it's more of the.
But you're a great father though, Dre. Just want to put that out there.
I appreciate it. They always, to some women, it's like, well, they always have me. It's like, well, if they had me,
I would be with him.
I'd be there. I used to say all the time, like, you so fixated over here on
Right.
these jokers that this one over here, who way easier than them,
Yeah.
that's the real access you need to be with.
Yeah.
The thing that I always prided myself on was don't be a jerk, because what goes around will come around. Not saying I've always succeeded, but I've always tried to treat women right. And the reason why is because, you know, I seen a lot of stuff growing up that could traumatize you as, you know, a kid, and you don't realize it's trauma until you get older. Like, I was never cool with calling a girl the B word. I was never cool with that because I seen it a lot growing up.
Yeah.
Now, there have been a couple moments when, you know, I almost did it, but then I got to be like, nah, let's reel that back in. Well, here's the thing, man. You know, I had this thing called a dad that, you know, believed in caving your chest in and all that good stuff. I also had this thing called a mother that believed in getting a belt and tearing you up anytime she could. So I'm like, you know, I think for me to spare my backside and my front side, I think I'm gonna just go ahead and let that one go.
Yeah.
But as I got older, and you know, mom and dad can't really touch you up all like that now, you still have those urges to sometimes want to disrespect people. But I'm like, nah, bro, because what goes around is gonna come around. And I don't, let's say for instance, I have a daughter down, you know, like next 10, 15 years, whatever the case is. And let's say a man calls my daughter that. Now I'm going to be on edge, and I don't ever want my daughter, my goddaughters to feel, or my nieces to feel that that's ever okay. Yeah. So now I've always tried to treat women with the most respect that I possibly could, and just be a cool dude towards them. Like, I'm one of the few guys, and I don't know how many men can say this, I'm one of the few dudes that has a lot of female friends that I've actually been friends with them. Never tried to get at them, never tried to sleep with them, just actual friends and keep it pushing.
So you believe in, men and women could be friends without, like, a strictly platonic relationship?
100%, because I've had women who are my friends before I got married, and it was like straight friends. No trying to get at them, no trying to sleep with them, no trying to be like, well, if this cat mess up, I got you. Nah, because, you know, nobody wants to be around somebody that has a secret motive or a hidden agenda. You know, I'll go ahead and share this. Me and your wife and best friends, we were 12 years old. As God is my witness, I've never tried to get at Shamara.
Yeah.
We just good friends. That's it. And she was the kind of friend that would tell me, stay away from this girl. Don't mess with this one. She'll be good for you. Heck, she was with me when I got Chanel's engagement ring.
Yeah.
So that goes to show you the kind of. Oh yeah, definitely. Like, kid you not, I'm going.
So never had feelings for her.
No, we're
Ever.
just dope friends. No, and I think the coolest part too is when you have somebody that's your homie, dude. You got a homie for life, right there.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, like when I was getting married, about to get married, and trying to figure out what to do and stuff like that, Shamar would hit me up, giving me advice. So men and women can actually be friends, and that's it.
Well, I mean, I love you. I don't know if I agree with you. In all not every situation. In particular situations. If you watch the show, you know how my stance on female.
I watched the show. I know your stance on it.
And it's, to be honest, it's not.
I love this cat though, man. That's what Nick does. Like,
it's not typically like my fear as a married person is like, oh, you don't know. Maybe one of your friends look at you like we just had like you're a good dude. You know what I'm saying? Maybe one of them girls like I wish I had a Chris, and that would be my fear as a man. Like, man, like. I never want to put myself in a situation that I could be caught slipping. That's the only thing. It's like I said, we're good people. We're good dudes. We're sought after dudes. Like every woman want a good man.
Yeah.
100%. That's right.
It's like what scares me about having a female friend is that I know women see what I give my wife and say, I wish I had that. Maybe not particularly from me, but I know for a fact I've had conversations where I wish I had a husband that treated me like that. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. And it's like it would scare me to just know, like, okay, I have a female friend that maybe might not have an agenda, but still sees me as a good dude. It's like, man, I wish I would have a person like a Chris, like a Dre. And it's like, you never know where that goes. That's just my perspective of the, of the thing.
No, I feel him. I'm like, I'm always, I'm not going to say I'm 50-50. I lean heavily to it's borderline impossible, although I do have a friend who is a female. It's one of my best friends.
And that's the thing. There's I feel this way, but at the same time, I've no situation, like you said, case in point, like you and my wife, you and Jazz.
Yeah.
There is situations, but I think like maybe 90% of the times you got to be careful.
95% of the time you got to be careful, but I think it all comes down to who that person is too.
Yeah.
Like if you have somebody that's just trying to be your friend just to get the draws, then I mean, hey, that's just jacked up.
Yeah.
But you do have people
it's
like
the way the game is played though. I mean,
man.
I wouldn't say that it's jacked up per se. Sometimes you get friend zoned and some people make it out of the friend zone, to be completely honest. Years down the road.
It's like the G League.
I'll
throw you in the G League.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and call it. I've been friend zoned several times. And the reason why it never bothered me was because 9 out of 10 times, actually all of the time rather, I didn't care because I didn't try to get at that person. Now, obviously, you know how you get older and you kind of start thinking about them friends. Maybe let me see if I can get at her. Maybe maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Most of the time, I used to have a list and I'll be like, maybe, maybe not. Then I started thinking.
What did you call this list?
Just to honest to God, nah. This gonna sound silly, right? Because this is back when I was single, not married. This is a long time ago. I know some of y'all gonna look at me like, man, I didn't know Chris was like this. I had this list called the starting five. I'm a basketball player, okay? You got your star, you got your secondary star, you got your role player, and you got your fill-ins. You fill them out to see which player is gonna really stay around and make the team. But that gets old really quick.
We call it the roster.
Yeah, it gets old quick because after a while, you get tired. Yeah. You get really worn out mentally, and you starting to mix a lot of people's emotions. Don't play with people's emotions because that stuff can come back and get you. Or you could end up catching feelings for somebody that you really was not trying to catch feelings for.
Yeah, but what if your starting five was LeBron, MJ, Kobe, Shaq, and Durant?
You'll go 82-0. That's what will really happen. Just being honest with you.
That's a good answer.
You'll go 82-0. And pickup games, you'll never lose.
Hey, what's something that instantly ends a relationship? Y'all
lack of trust.
Y'all ever been in there?
From what perspective?
From, let's say,
like what she would do that would end the relationship.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Like what? Like that you would instantly end it from a man's perspective? What's something that would instantly end a relationship?
Man, I'm gonna have to agree with Chris. Just everything around lack of trust, whether
Yeah.
you're seeking attention, whether you in too many people, all of that, everything around the lack of trust is like,
Yep.
yeah, nah, I can't do nothing with it.
Once my trust is gone, I can't do nothing with you.
Can't do
I
nothing
don't
with
care how good you cook. I don't care how good the sex is. I don't care how spiritual you are. If we don't have trust, we don't have anything.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that I married a woman I can actually trust.
Yeah.
Like there's something simple. I'm sure. I'm assuming this, but you know, I think it was a couple days ago. My wife went through my phone. I was like, "Here, go ahead, take it." She asked, "Can I see your phone for a second?" Sure. Didn't hesitate. None of that. Now, if I had something in there I was trying to surprise her with, then I mean, I hope she didn't like see it. But the reason why I bring that up, most men cannot give their women their phone and just say go through it because they're insecure. They might be
think
hiding
that's both
some, or the
ways?
case. Oh yeah, it could be both. You know what I'm saying? Ways. But most of the time, we as men, we set the tone for how a relationship is gonna go. And I told my wife, "Here, go ahead, go through it." And that was it. I'm sure you probably have that kind of trust with Special where you like, go ahead, do it.
I got pushback on that one. Most of the time, I would say we're supposed to set the tone because we're supposed to be the head of the house. But modern day relationships,
God bless them.
you kind of never know who's setting the tone.
My heart goes out to the modern day relationships, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like you don't know who's setting the tone in these relationships in these households. Like a lot of times, it's a lot of these women that's setting the tone, and they want a leader. I would have to say sometimes the leader is in a chokehold, while other times that joker just ain't leading.
And it's a hard thing because we live in a society now, and I know I'm going to jump in some deep waters, but you guys know me by now, I could care less. We live in a society now where people don't know their role. People don't know what their role on the team is. I'm a big basketball guy. We all know it. Heck, I cover basketball for it. That's just what I do.
Yeah.
And you can't have your center out there trying to play point guard. That's not his natural position. Like, yeah, I know we live in a time now where most big men are skilled, but let's take it back. Let's go back to early 2000s. You don't want Shaquille O'Neal playing point guard. No. And you don't want somebody like Allen Iverson being center.
Yeah.
That's not their role on the team. That's not what you're supposed to do. And until we can get out of this foolish culture mindset where, oh, I don't need a man, or, oh, I don't need a woman. Nah, bro, we need each other. That's the role that we play in. But unfortunately, we living in a time now where people don't know their role.
Well, let me ask y'all this, because I've been having these conversations a lot lately. Do y'all believe that everybody wants to play their role? Like let's just say like a woman, let's just say the modern day, like, I don't even really like the term, but like the modern day woman. Do you believe that she honestly wants to be the head of the house, or it's like a situation that I'm put in that I have to be?
I think it's a situation that they're put in because it's a very dangerous thing.
And I don't like to generalize.
Right, no, but I think nowadays, because a lot of women were forced to have all those masculine tendencies, they were forced to, have to work this many hours, take care of their kids because the father is no longer in the picture, and they're forced to become something that they were never originally created to be. But we live in such a time now where a lot of women will say, I don't need a man, I can do this by myself, etc. I mean, you can drive a car with your foot. That don't make it a good idea.
That's good.
So if they sit around and they say they don't need a man and they don't need this, is that really them being forced then into that role? Or is that them volunteering to be in a masculine role?
Different strokes for different folks.
I'm saying
sometimes
just based off what you said.
Based off what I said, sometimes the situation that they were put in before they were forced to say, I don't need somebody, that could play a tremendous factor. Like, I know several women right now who have told me, man, Chris, I'm tired of having to be the man in my house. And I'm like, well, you're not a man to begin with. You're taking on a lot of responsibilities that was never yours in the first place.
So I look at it like this, right? I guess it's kind of twofold.
Yeah.
I think that some people are put in that position. But I believe, it's my opinion, there's more women who have volunteered to be in that role and they complain about it.
Yeah.
Like your actions and everything else, like put you there, like your words, your action, like everything lined up. Some people have generally, like if you got walked out on, then all of a sudden now you are being forced to put to pick up the slack in certain areas. You know what I mean? And you kept going. This generation, man, like you got women. You remember that when we were coming up, it was the beginning of the independent women era, in which
it's all good.
You
that
had
turned
women teaching their daughters, you don't need a man.
Yeah.
So in that case, like you were kind of like raised to be that. Now them looking at men and how they viewed the masculine man and all of this stuff, like it's like they wanted a manly, but they didn't know how to actually give up that quote unquote role of being the masculine, whatever. So now when you have a woman who's used to being in control, what you really fight is how can you relinquish control? And what you hear all the time is, which I completely hate, you haven't done anything to make me or let me release. It's just like,
I hate that too.
I
really do.
You ain't did nothing to make me not want to be a man. Like, no, just be like, because if I'm saying just be a woman, I'm not necessarily saying like the role that you're playing. I don't need nobody tough as me to be laying next to me.
Not at all, man. That stuff is
you know
so
what
toxic.
I mean? It's just so I don't know. It's
I
like
dealt
some of
with
these
that.
the modern whatever masculine women. It's like most of them they volunteered to be there versus being forced.
I just I got a different perspective now, just because I firsthand somebody close to me, as you know, was that woman that was the housewoman, and allow her to the man to be the working one while she took care of the house, and then things happen, they split up, and now I'm stuck where it's like now I got to be this person that like I built my table to allow my husband to be that man of the house. And now it's been snatched away, and it's like now I have to turn into somebody. Now it's almost like everything that I built been snatched up under me, and now I got to become something that I was never prepared to be. And I feel bad because it's like it's a very vulnerable state for a woman to allow a man to be a man, because you are like, if I came in and I said I don't want you to work, if I told my wife I don't want you to work, I want you to be at the house. And that was our role for so many years, and then boom, something happened to me. I died. So I've never equipped her to be that, and God forbid that I never put things in place that if anything happened to me.
Right.
So I do sometimes, like I said, I'm not generalizing, because there are strong women that is just hell bent on, I'm the role, I'm this, and I do agree. But like I said, I have a different perspective now, because like I said, somebody close to me has had a divorce, and it's like now I feel bad, because it's like it is kind of a vulnerable state for a woman to put in a place to be the woman that we as men want our women to be. Like, I'm not begging my wife. I'm not saying like, hey, I don't want you to work, but it's like I will prefer you to be here and take care of this house while I go and do what I got to do. But it's like at the same time, I'll be a fool to understand that she is giving up. She's not going, like, she's not, with that being said, she doesn't have a resume anymore. She doesn't have, the money's being made from me and all this different stuff. So she almost has to put her all in trusting that I do right by this. Because if I leave her, now she just stuck with, 10 years of been sitting and taking care of a house. There's no job that's going to say, hey, I'll take you on for the experience as being a great housewife for the last 10 years. It's almost like she has to start over. So I think in that perspective, a lot of women now teach their daughters, don't depend on no man. Because, the same person that will feed you has the ability to starve you. And I think that some people fear that.
I do look at it from both ways, though. Like, because in a sense, it's almost like, well, why promote marriage?
Yeah,
because it's a risk that you're willing to take getting into a marriage. Now, everybody's marriage is different. So you do have two working individuals. You do have some which you got to stay at home. But I think like we live in a day and age in which if you're not empowering your significant other to kind of do something, even if they are stay at home, like you kind of like helping with inflation, the way that everything else is going on.
Right.
Like it almost don't matter how much you got doggone make. You should want a little bit of extra to come in, like just in case, especially if everything just falls on you. But like, I don't know. Do I get married? Because am I looking at it like, okay, well, down the road, we may get a divorce. It's kind of like, do I look at it like that now? Yeah. Like, because we don't hope and go into it hoping for divorce. But when it gets to that point,
Right.
granted, the situation stinks and it sucks. But do I stay in it just because? Or do I go my separate ways, lick my wounds? I'm going to have to sacrifice double time in the season, pick up the pieces, and then now I know when the next man comes along, if not my choice, man or woman, in either situation, I just have to vet this person more carefully. You know what I mean? Because on the flip side, what if, because the average person that does leave a marriage nowadays statistically is a woman.
Yeah.
So what if the woman leaves, asks for the divorce, and now he's stuck?
Yeah.
What is he saying?
Yeah.
Is the man looking at it in the same way, or is he just saying, "Yo, well, the situation that I got, so let's get to it."
Yeah.
And it ain't no knock on.
Nah, we get what you're
So
saying.
I'm just speaking just like in general.
generality,
but I get where you're coming from, where you have a stay-at-home wife, and now she has like all the responsibilities now fall on her, especially if there is no help, regardless of the fact if the individual is not there.
For me, I just see it from both sides. Because with me, at the same time, with me saying that, I'm a firm believer, submit to your husband. Mm-hmm. Period.
Yeah.
So if you can't submit to a man, then don't marry him.
Plain
That's just how
simple.
I look at it.
Yeah.
So it's like, to me,
Key word you said in that was marriage, though.
yeah, but I mean, like, don't marry a person that you feel like you can't submit to.
Mm-hmm.
Period. So it's like, if you feel like, because I didn't heard that also with women, it's like, well, I want to submit to him, but he's not a person that's submittable. Then don't marry. Like, why would you be with a person that you can't?
Don't be with him.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, why would you work for a job where you don't trust the owner? Mm-hmm. Like, if you think the owner is a douchebag, why would you ever work for that company?
You don't know you go get your check every week or every 2 weeks.
Right.
Then
Why would you ever step into that
day?
situation?
Yeah.
I don't care how nice he is. If he's questionable, why would you ever work for him?
Yeah.
Plain and simple. But unfortunately, we live in such a time now where a lot of, and I will say this, a lot of women don't necessarily know how to submit. They never saw a good example of it because some of them come from circumstances. Well, my mom and dad were married and my dad ran over my mom and, he just did X, Y, and Z.
Let's use a different term.
Okay, I will say something else. Sometimes what happens is women are scarred because of what they saw. Yeah. They'll say, well, my mom and dad didn't have a good marriage because my mom never questioned my dad. She just let him do whatever. And now I don't want that to happen. But the thing is, your mom's, no disrespect, but she probably married a guy that wasn't properly shown how to be a husband. He could have been somebody that didn't necessarily know how to lead the right way. Nowadays, we living in a time where a lot of women feel that they can lead better than men, and that is just not natural. Because if you're a biblical person, if you're a Christian person, even if you're not, even if you're somebody that has some kind of morals, you'll even see it from this regard that men are natural providers. We're naturally the head of everything. We were here on this earth first, and then it came the woman. But unfortunately, we live in a time now where, like I said earlier, cats don't want to play their role, and they figuring out, and they're now, because they don't want to play their role, they're wondering how come there's so much chaos because you ain't playing your role.
Yeah, it's out of alignment.
So I do believe, and I agree with what you're saying. But if you look at the flip side of that, there's certain things that women do encompass that makes your leadership, your character trait of being a leader, it makes it shine. You can get one woman in your life and it totally dulls down how you lead.
Yes,
however
it can.
you do it. You can get another woman in there in which what she brings, the value she brings to your life, it actually makes your leadership role look a whole lot bigger, better.
Facts.
So, which comes to the importance of choosing the right person.
Got to,
for
man.
sure. But I guess we never want to minimize, biblically or not, how and who certain women are to a lot of these men. So as leaders in general, we're natural leaders.
Yeah.
All the way.
We're natural everything, but there's a certain things that certain women bring out of.
This is a very
Bring out of you, but it does happen after you as a man or in place to cultivate and bring out of a woman.
I just believe all of them beasts can be tamed.
You don't go. They can.
I believe that
Absolutely,
They can.
every strong woman, they might
100%, yeah.
sound like they hoot and holler on. I feel like they still want to be
Yes.
soft inside. I just
Yes. They do, but some of them don't know how
At all,
Some of them
man.
have never seen it.
It is sad,
Some of
yo.
them have tried and failed, and some of them
Facts,
just come
man.
across the wrong man
They need a chocolate,
to do
city.
it with. You know what I'm saying? Bring this chocolate city. Get a
I
little-
knew that was
little
coming
taste
at
of this
some point.
bitterness over you.
I
You
just
should be
see
real
retain
quick.
the best of them.
Chocolate City.
No, but sometimes I feel like, man, I believe that this, like some of the strongest headed women
Yes.
might be harder. It might be harder to crack, but I still do believe that there's still that soft woman inside that just wants somebody to. Man, I somewhere down. You remember when we went to Coach K's? We went to a retreat one year, and this rings in my head all the time. It was a gentleman there. What was the brother name? Was it Alpha? No.
Which one?
Coach K's partner, the one that ran it.
Oh, Bernard.
Bernard said, he said somewhere down the line, to every woman, a man has dropped the ball, whether it was their dad, boyfriend, husband, in general. And they say, like, if you look up, like, statistically, they say some of the hardest pain that a woman will ever feel is going to come from a man. Mm-hmm. It's going to be from their father, husband. And, I just think that tough, hard-shelled woman has been prepped by a woman that at somewhere down the line was hurt by whether her dad, whether a boyfriend. And then now we're seeing the fruit of it's like, I believe there's never the problem that's on the outside. It's the inside. It's not the fruit. It's the root of the tree.
Right.
And I think that when we get down to what's really going on, why are you so tough as a woman? I think that if we start to peel back that onion, at some point, somebody has dropped the ball. And I think that it's just created this generation of women, and we don't never stop and see, like, well, who hurt you? You know, like, who did this?
I agree.
And I just think that and the sad part for us as men is that we have to fight the battles of men from generations before.
Yes.
Punishing me for somebody else's mistake.
And I 100% no man should have to deal with what a man has done to because we're gonna fight a battle with a woman that has been prepped from generations of women that was hurt from a man 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And now we got to fight that battle. And it's like,
and should we really?
Should we have to?
I said something recently to somebody, and they looked at me like, "What?" It was a female. I had heard something, and then this conversation between her and I had came up, and she's talking about, well, this is deep rooted. It goes back to like my father and this, that, and the other. And I was just like, okay. I said it just like that. I was like, wait, so I mean, you don't care? I said, no,
At all.
because that's not my responsibility.
At all.
and I agree.
Like, I'm a grown man. You're a grown woman. Can I show empathy or sympathy for you? Yes. Can I be there to support you? But what does that support look like? For me, I'm not going to coddle you, and I'm not going to volunteer to be a punching bag for you.
After a while, you got to take responsibility.
For you, it's more of deal with your stuff. And if I can see you actually dealing with it, I'll be there to support you. Other than that, if you ain't even trying, you're just using this as an excuse or as a crutch. You know what I mean? As a fail safe for your behavior. You get nothing out of me. You're gonna get a version of me that you're not gonna like, because at the end of the day, I've dealt with my own stuff as a individual.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've reached back and dealt with so now you want me to take yours on too for you, and at the end of that, there's not even a guarantee of change.
Nah.
Yeah.
So it's not my responsibility to deal with, even in this scenario, it's not my responsibility to deal with
generations before me.
Something that happened from generations before, whether it's your father, your ex-husband. Granted, going into situations, right, into relationships, we know that we're going to have to take on some stuff during the meshing process.
Yeah.
And being with someone who comes from a different background with their own stuff, being at my age, it's kind of like everybody done been through something, right? But it's like, what are you doing now to work on what you've been through?
Right.
Because at this point, there's a lot of stuff I'm just not willing to go through with you at this point. I just got to know that you've at least healed from some stuff. Other stuff, cool.
Or what's the healing process?
What's the healing process? What are you doing? What's your ongoing therapy thing or self-care? What are you doing to make sure that you ain't over here trying to spill out onto me? And
Something
now,
ain't got nothing to do with me.
Ain't got nothing to do with me at all.
I will never pay for somebody else's mistake.
No.
Yeah.
That will never happen. I feel like this entire conversation needs a part 2.
Oh yeah.
Just saying. I want to put
we
that
need
out
to
there.
have some women on
Just
this one,
I'm
what
gonna
saying?
put
But
that
it's-
out there.
But it's nice coming from a man's perspective though,
Yeah.
because a lot of times it's not communicated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like you said, getting through that hard shell of a tough woman.
Yeah.
I done dealt with some tough jokers. All right. Honestly, it just comes down to just listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Asking the right communication, just communicating properly and effectively in the right way. Not everybody communicates the same. So how can I communicate with this individual in order to get her to a place of being vulnerable? And how can I trick her into getting to that place if she that good? Because sometimes you have to do that in order for them to really open up. But once they do, they're like mush.
Very true.
You know?
And
so you're right. But some of them hard jokers, they are like,
Yeah. I think that they all want to.
yeah.
They all want to be that soft woman that she could rely on somebody.
It's just the approach that's taken.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is bad, and how most people, especially nowadays, start off with relationships is kind of questionable. So that person will never open up in a way that you want them to. It's always going to be a battle.
We definitely need better communication between sexes. Mm-hmm. And it's like I feel like most men don't understand women, and most women don't understand men.
Yeah.
Because we're wired 100% different.
Yeah.
And sometimes we never will understand each other. But that's the beauty of who we are. You're not supposed to. Every day is supposed to be a learning experience.
Yeah.
If you didn't learn in one day, you wasted an entire day. Plain and simple. Men and women, at the end of all of this, we need each other. Because we can't live without y'all. Y'all can't live without us. You can try it, but good luck.
I heard, man. Yeah, man, that go for part 2.
Now, speaking of in the beginning and trying to get to know somebody, now we got this whole dating list.
Oh, man. We're going to touch on this, but we're going to have a whole topic on
Yeah, we're
this.
gonna have a whole.
I really
episode
feel
on
like this
But
needs to
I
be
feel
on the
we
next episode.
Definitely gotta like address the whole joint with the appropriate first dates.
Yeah.
Is that what? Do y'all got it? Y'all got a list?
I wish I had some signal in
think-
here because I don't
Let me see. I
really
can pull
do.
it up. I got the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you got the joint.
And this
down
made
here.
it to, this bad boy went by.
As you guys are pulling up the list, I'm going to put this plug out here. Make sure y'all tune in and subscribe to Blended Views Unfiltered
Yes,
weekly,
sir.
when you can hear Dre and Nick and the entire crew just go off about a lot, and you can have people like me as a guest. So I just want to go ahead and put that out there.
So we just
Appreciate
going
that.
to touch on this. So this list went viral.
Oh, he got connection in here.
And basically, your aunt gave me the Wi-Fi.
Hey, can you text me the Wi-Fi real quick?
It says, here's a list of the places women absolutely refuse to go on first dates to. And thank you to the ladies who reached out to me to help me on this list. So I guess a group of women came together and they created this list. So these are places that's absolutely they refuse to go on. So I guess let me give it a little bit of background. I guess it was a video that came out about a woman saying he took me to a Cheesecake Factory and we ain't doing all that. Have you seen that video on TikTok?
I have seen it, yeah.
So I guess after that, this list kind of, was created. So number 1, obviously, is Cheesecake Factory. 2 is Applebee's. 3 is Chili's, Chipotle, Olive Garden. Actually, I'm going to stop. I'm just going to keep running down. So Olive Garden, this is the movies, Your House, any fast food chain.
Your house.
Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, Red Lobster, a buffet, IHOP, Denny's, the gym, church, Starbucks, coffee dates, ice cream dates, family functions, movie nights, Netflix, Hulu, etc. Somewhere that requires a long drive, bowling, nightclubs, hookah bars, a bar for just drinks, Waffle House, and sport events.
And I'm going to assume the woman that came up with this list is single at the moment, because
I'm assuming also.
nobody has it all together on the first date. And I understand that you
I beg to
don't.
differ on that.
I understand the mindset of, having standards, which is great. Yeah. But sometimes when somebody approaches you for a date, they're trying to see, well, what are they going to be like if I can give them this right now? Because if you can't be grateful or thankful for me at this level, when I get to the next level, why am I going to spoil you at that?
Well, let's put some context on this behind, first of all, because I get what you're saying. Let's not speak about, because it's so different. Me and you, we got with our women's when we were young.
19, brother.
And I was young. So our first dates at that age is going to differ.
I got together that young.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we was
19,
young.
bro.
Now, the 29-year-old going on 30 this month.
Happy early
Nick,
birthday, my brother.
Thank you. I'm going on 30, which is, you might still say is young, but I think differently than I did at that time.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So now we're going to talk this list at 30 years old. Let's
Yeah.
just, put us all on the same platform. I have to agree with them on some of this stuff.
I'm just waiting for Dre to say something.
I mean,
Because Dre is the guru on that. We got here.
He is, man.
Here's my thing. Some of these ain't bad, right? And I think the women who came together on this 9 times out of 10 are all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why that list makes sense, right? It's probably the woman who would rather be wined and dined. And 9 times, well, let me not say 9 times out of 10. 7 to 8 times out of 10, they ain't calling old boy back after that first date anyways.
Yeah.
They go find a reason not to call the joker or respond to anything. And they probably go pick the most expensive place or want to go to the most expensive places.
Yeah.
They look a certain kind of way, and they've been single for quite a while, and they still gonna be single for quite a while after this. I'm just, it's my opinion that the women who put that together, that's what they look like. Because
we've had conversation where, you do the hangout first.
the hangout is first,
Then the first date.
then you do the first date.
So I'm saying that think of it from that perspective. We already vetted this person.
Yes.
We've hung out with this person.
Yeah.
You mad cool.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna go to this.
But this person, they ain't even doing no hangout. That's a guarantee.
No, if this is
and
our
that's how they feel.
Yeah, no.
Right.
That's
If-
they
if I'm
ain't
still-
doing no hangout.
I don't believe in taking a person on the first date upon just meeting you.
Yes. That's
Like-
what jokers are still doing though. And I guarantee you that's what they do.
I'm not spending.
It wouldn't
I'm not
shock me.
spending a lot of money on a person I just met. Now let's just say I've been chipping
Nah.
away at this person. I know, obviously. Let's just say this is my wife. I've been chipping away at this person. I'm trying to, get her to do something. She said, okay, I've known you. You seem like a cool person. I'm gonna allow you to take me out. And this is my first impression on my wife at 30-year-old Nick.
Yeah.
Too many of these places I ain't taking her to. What the hell?
Sporting event?
A buffet?
Not a buffet.
IHOP? Fast food restaurants?
Unless
At 30?
Hey, unless
I don't even do IHOP for
Listen.
myself.
listen, you know what old boy Russell Wilson just did? Did you see this?
Yeah, he rented out Waffle House for his wife.
The context, the behind the scenes.
Yeah,
story of
she
that?
was doing an interview,
yes.
and she had mentioned that Waffle House is her favorite. So what Russell Wilson did,
that's a
he
little
rented out a whole Waffle House,
But it goes
just
to
because
show
he was listening.
how even women of that caliber are simple.
But that's a little different.
It's different because they're married.
I take it back.
But
I'm
it's
thinking
still the
Waffle
same,
House.
though.
I meant to say IHOP.
Okay.
Waffle House, yeah. It's like that down south Waffle House.
It's Waffle House.
Yeah, I was thinking IHOP.
But they in Colorado.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying is Dre and Dre now, I'm gonna get at you now because Dre is you want a good date, talk to him about it. He ain't doing none of
Yes.
these. Dre not doing none of these dates on the first date.
At all,
So
man.
don't let him fool y'all. He ain't never took a girl to none of these
Get your
dates.
flowers, Dre.
Because he ain't never did it. Like, I know this joker, and he ain't taking nobody to no IHOP or no Waffle House on the first date.
I'm also a firm believer in the hangout first.
Yeah.
Let's say
Because
after
there's
the
women,
hangout.
there's
after,
women that ain't making it past that
Dre,
hangout.
after the
At all.
hangout, she qualifies everything.
Yeah.
You are not taking no women to any of these places.
Nah.
So,
Even if the Cheesecake Factory is her favorite spot.
I don't even like
that ain't-
Cheesecake
that
Factory.
ain't what
They
we
got
do.
banging cheesecake.
That's about it though. The fruit is trash.
It's subpar.
And that's just because I believe in experience. But I believe in like during the hangout phase and just talking.
Just kicking it.
You pick up and learn so much about somebody.
Yeah, you do.
These kind of spots are just like chill spots.
Yes.
But also though, the dates, right, don't have to be anything if it's over the top and extravagant, that don't mean that it's gonna cost $500.
That's another
$300,
thing. You don't have to be
$200.
expensive to
You
have
don't
a
to
great
be-
night.
Yeah, you don't have to be expensive. I've always been a firm believer in tailoring a date, an evening out, whatever, to the person. Forget what people say, right?
don't have to
And
be
that's why I'm
expensive.
good at that. When my cats call me and they'll be like, "Hey, this is what I'm trying." You tailor it to the person,
Right.
Not no dinner and a movie. That's so boring, bro. Like, tell me a little bit about her real quick. What does she like? What's the type of stuff in conversation that she say?
Yeah.
I've never done this. I would like to experience this. Y'all could be watching TV, watching a movie, listening to a song, and she could be like, "Man, I've never experienced that before."
And
in
then
your head,
boom.
you should be like, "That's what I'm about to do.
Bro, that's my thing.
I'm about to create that moment."
Gotta
even
pay
like-
attention.
Chris, if this was the only opportunity you had to wow Chanel, you just do one shot, I believe that you're not picking one of these spots.
I mean,
Now,
this-
if you have to, right? Because not all
if I have
30-year-olds
to-
is
not all
balling.
30 well,
because we talking
I'm
about
I
the
ain't
30
talking
year
about money.
So, no, look. If it's here's how you set it up. If you have to, right? Because let's say you in between jobs,
Yeah.
but you really want to take her out. If you know that it's Thirsty Tuesdays at Applebee's,
the
what you-
$1
what you-
margaritas.
What you do is, all right, you set it up accordingly. Hey, it's happy hour. I mean, everybody meeting up at the Applebee's. You know what I mean? You should swing
Wording.
by. Swing by.
Wording. That's what
Don't
it is.
phrase it as a date. Hey, swing by
Yeah.
real quick. Now, when they get there, you
know-
can pull her into a booth solo and have a conversation with her. Now, she don't know it was a date, right? But she's going to say it was a date.
But if you
later down the line when you talking in
You
the
equip that date with a walk on the park.
Yep.
You throw together something afterwards that's
Yes.
just super duper
Yes.
like meaningful.
Yes.
Because it's thoughtful.
Yes, like, but I'm just saying, I done read some dudes like, they just, all of these is good spots. No, I'm gonna take them. I read a post. Some dude gonna say, friend of mine actually. He said, you know what? I'm gonna take her to these spots and she gonna like it because she with me.
no.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
Well, in some, I would have to say there is a percentage of women that's true.
But bro,
Because there's some women who are so simple and they don't care about even the overtop tailored to themselves. They're so simple that's pretty accurate.
the same dude gonna be mad when y'all go somewhere and I want my girl to dress up. I want her to look like Kim Kardashian.
Nah,
I
I'm
want
cool
her
with
to-
The
that.
same one ain't about to do that.
Nah,
The
I'm
same
cool
girl
on
that
that
don't
one.
care about dates is the same one that's gonna pop out with a hoodie and sweatpants every day and ain't getting their hair done because that's the type. And I'm not saying nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying like the same person. I want her to be relaxed on this, but then say you going somewhere where you getting, let's say you going somewhere you getting awarded something, and it's a red carpet affair. Bro, you want your woman to be like, you want her to make she on
got
your
to.
arm.
You want her to be versatile.
And I'm gonna put this out here. I know this gonna sound kind of crazy, but I'm amongst my boys. I can talk like this. I'm Chris Gunther, man. Nothing else needs to be said on that. I'm just gonna say. I mean, if I'm gonna keep it a buck, I'm gonna keep it a buck. There's a reason why every time you see me step out with Chanel, why she look like that, because I'm Chris Gunther.
Yeah.
She married to me. I don't expect anything less than the best. So I mean, I'll just leave that conversation there.
But I can't fault a woman for having standards. That's all I got.
Yes. And you know what?
And
So
that's my whole perspective on the list.
if that's her preference and her
God bless
standard,
her.
so be it. Right?
God bless her for the
Because
preference.
there's women who you come across and right off bat the expectation is, no, I want to go on a first date. Forget a hangout.
Yeah.
So for me, it's, well, I already know what you own. So I'm good. Because for me, I work hard for my money.
Yeah.
Yes,
We all
sir.
I ain't about to take you out to no date just so you can say you've been somewhere. You can
And you know
get
they
whatever
gonna clown you when they around their girls too.
Heck, like no,
You need to pick
the
that-
hang out is good.
Yeah.
Like fellas, okay, for all the fellas watching this, I need y'all to perfect the hangout phase.
Yes.
It is a necessity. Before y'all jokers out here, just well, if I got it, so if you do, who cares? So do I. Like the hangout is imperative. Hang out to see if you really want to spend whether it's spending money or spend that kind of time planning something for this individual. Because I'm sorry, and with all due respect, women, not every woman is deserving of that. Maybe
At all.
she is to another man, for another man, but for you, you ain't posed. Every woman is not supposed to have the same story.
Yeah.
That's my takeaway.
I see no
Every woman
lies.
ain't gonna have the same story.
I agree.
They
I see
shouldn't.
no lies.
So go through that hangout phase. Once you go in the hangout phase, ain't got to be a long joint. You know what I'm saying?
Man, get to know this person.
Yes.
Vet them out
Right.
prior
Yes.
to the date, and then see if they're worth, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm, like I said, Joey, I got this from you. I'm not big on spending an arm and a leg on every date. Now, with that being said, I have spent an arm and a leg
Yeah.
because I am married to my wife and she deserves the best.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not a firm believer, and she's not a believer of every date has to be a very expensive, extravagant restaurant.
Right.
It's the thought that counts. It's the effort that's put in. It's what are you gonna do? You know, it's more than just that. So it's not
Right.
just about. I don't think that this list is all about just these are cheaper restaurants. I think that these are lazy first date options.
Yeah.
I mean,
And if she is worth it, if you've gotten past the hangout and you've gone to the next level and you think that she's worth the effort and the time, not always the money, but if you got the money, then hey, you know, that's on you. But if she's worth it, then I mean, put a little bit more into your first date. You'll get a little more out of it.
Yeah. And for those of you who are on the dating apps and you like, how else are we supposed to get to know these people? Even on these dating apps, right? When y'all chit-chatting, stop trying to get somebody's number right away. Chit-chat on there to see if they worthy of having your number.
If they worthy of
that's
your time.
access to you. Once you go beyond that, chit-chat on the phone, video call, or whatever the case may be, and then after that, do your hangout. Still do your hangout, because just because y'all chemistry is tough through texting, don't mean that it's gonna be tough on a video call. Just because it's like that on a video call don't mean that once you get in person, it's gonna be the same. It could be totally different the moment that you meet this individual in person. So do a hangout versus a date. A hangout could be ice cream. Matter of fact, it ain't even got to involve food. Y'all can meet up at Barnes and Noble, go to a park,
watch an episode of Blended Views Unfiltered.
Watch an episode of the pod.
We're gonna put it on game. She might not like that.
Right. You know, y'all can go. You know, bigger cities got multiple things that y'all can do that doesn't require like a lot of money or money at all. Yes.
Oh
yeah,
100%. Youngstown is different, but if you in like a Cleveland, Atlanta, Orlando,
I went to Chicago, bro.
Chicago, oh yeah.
Everything is a walking distance downtown.
Yes.
Man, if y'all can go and just walk somewhere,
Just walk.
Window shop.
Get some pizza.
Yeah.
Man,
Make sure that
just a slice.
Just
only.
have some fun. Yeah. Just enjoy it, man.
Then do the date.
big dudes, be careful what y'all go eat the first date. If you're anything like me, I get a little sloppy when I eat.
You know what? Eat in the morning, right? Or early in the afternoon before the
I say a
hangout, and
couple
then
hours.
go. So you ain't got to eat nothing. You could just get her something.
Yeah.
Just get you some water and some breadsticks. You'll be fine.
Unfortunately, to this day, I think coffee dates is the perfect hangout. Somewhere where you could just talk, and this is
You
not
can
loud.
leave quickly if need be.
Yeah, you finish with that cup of coffee in a matter of minutes. Yeah, you can take it to go.
Yes.
I have really enjoyed this convo. Like, I can't wait for part 2 because I'm gonna be tuned in.
Oh, we're gonna get the good ladies on this, and we might have. I won't say that it's gonna go the same direction.
No, it won't. I know how they are. They are very argumentative, but
We
it's
might have another.
great to watch.
We usually only do. We do one show. We might have to do 2 shows this week.
Yeah.
Because I've been wanting to have this conversation since I've been seeing this stuff, just to get other perspectives.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I see it both ways, and you know the 20-year-old me. My first date with my wife was to a movie that I fell asleep on.
You were 20 for crying out loud. It
Bro,
happens.
like it was crazy, but I mean now I've been to places that now it's like, man, like
You get older, you mature.
bro, I done been to some places, boy. I tell you, that first date would have got the draws. Some of the places I done spent on her now.
You with a GT Dieter.
Listen, I'm telling y'all.
I got this
after
thing.
these hangouts, you can get the draws.
I got a list on my phone that
If you play your cards right, I'm telling you.
I got a list on my phone, bro, that I get from people like Dre, my barber. Shout out to my man Kenny Ali. When you meet some older cats, and I ain't gonna call y'all old heads, but when you meet some older cats that been through, I'm trying to tell you, ask them cats about some restaurants.
I mean,
I got a list of
that's
them.
what they here for, though. Like the guys that's been there before are supposed to give that. You know what I'm saying? Game
I got
back.
a list. I can get it to you. From
I'll take
Dre,
it.
From my barber, a couple of the brothers out there that just say, "Hey, have you ever been here? Take her here." Hey, I've been here with my ex-wife. I've been here. And it's like, I'm like, yo, when you get the opportunity to go to some of these places, man, and it's just.
Sometimes
just
it's about the
experience.
it's about the experience versus everything else. And sometimes
Facts.
you can go to a trash restaurant, but what you tie into it makes it seem like it's that much more. Like I got a date idea. I'm gonna have to give you this date idea. I'm gonna say it on here. I say it off of here. That way you can go and do it first.
Yeah.
Joint's fire, bro. I mean, it's fire. Okay, both of y'all.
About to say, can
both of y'all.
a light skinned brother jump
You
in
might
here?
have told
Just-
me about it before.
Okay, well,
This is
tell me.
neutral.
Wait a minute. I want to know.
It's a fresh boy. I had my other cat go and do this. He did it last week, and he was like, "Bruh, I'm
Ah!
telling you, joint's fire."
Listen, we're gonna put together an ebook or something.
I can't wait to watch part
And I'm
2.
gonna tell y'all, if y'all leave in the comments, brothers, if y'all would be interested of a date idea, creative date idea, we're gonna get from this brother. We might sell it, we might give it away to some of y'all. We're gonna put together an ebook of creative date ideas that will GTD for sure.
100%.
Let me not say for sure because we
about
can't
to
put out.
say,
we
you gotta
can't
be
put out
careful with
guarantees
that one.
Listen, if you play your cards right, yeah, we may have to start a coaching joint too. Then I coach you through it now.
I coach
you
the
can get
married
the
folks. Drake can take
GTD with
the
the
single
hangout
folks.
and the dates. Okay, I'm just saying.
We'll leave it at that, man.
We'll leave it at that. Hey,
Part 2 is coming.
I can't wait to watch part 2,
all
man.
right. Until then, play the moments, positive memories, stop the pain, keep the happiness on repeat. Peace.
Peace.
God bless.